part of the reason that I'm so passionate about working with mental health and promoting and advocating for mental health awareness is because I have my own personal experience of it. Firstly, from the point of view of having close friends and family that have suffered with mental illness. One of the poems that I'll share with you later sort of explores that. And I myself suffer with anxiety and trauma-related illnesses, which took me a long time to learn to live with and to manage. And poetry for me has been my best therapist, certainly when it comes to depression and anxiety. I didn't realise I was suffering with anxiety for a really long time. I knew I had depression. That was very, very obvious. But it wasn't until I started having some CBT that they then did an anxiety score. And a lot of the symptoms that I was having, I just didn't recognise as symptoms of anxiety. I just felt that I was irritable, I wasn't a particularly nice person, that I found it difficult for my brain to shut down. It made me realise that actually there's nothing wrong with me as a person. I've just been through some pretty heavy stuff. My earliest poetry memory is a poem that I wrote called Flip, Flap and the Swordfish. And I've realised in hindsight that I used to write poems when I was anxious about stuff. So I've got one that I wrote as my mum went into hospital to have my baby brother. And it's clearly a what's going to happen, my life's going to change kind of poem. So yeah, that's my earliest memory is 5-year-old me writing down her worries in the guise of stories about fish and cats and all sorts of things. When I left the relationship that I was in for most of my 20s, which was a really toxic relationship, I found myself writing again quite a lot. And my cousin suggested that I submit some of my writing. So I did, and it was accepted for submission. And at that point I thought, oh, maybe I should kind of submit some more. So I kept submitting, and one of my poems was shortlisted for a National Poetry Prize. And I was invited as someone that was shortlisted to perform my piece at the Royal Albert Hall, which filled me with absolute fear. But I just felt like I had to do it. And after that, it was sort of straight into the frying pan. I did it. The grounds didn't open up and swallow me. I quite enjoyed it. So from then on, I just took it seriously. I did the Royal Albert Hall in the March, and it took me till the November to build up the courage to go and perform again. And when I was smoking then, so every time there was a break, I'd go outside and chain smoke. And I'd stand at the back in the corner and I'd read from paper and be really nervous. And it's just, when I think of that version of me, just the anxiety that I had even walking into that space. And now I co-host that event in a space of, that happened in the space of about 1.5 years. So if that's not testament to how powerful poetry is to help in terms of kind of your mental health and anxiety, I don't know what is, because I'm literally a different person to the woman that started.